CL11 is one of the 20 commissions of the International Union of Pure and Applied Physics, which has been around since 1922, with Spain as an original member, among a small number of other countries. And the purpose of the organization is to assist in the worldwide development of physics, to foster international cooperation in physics, and to help in the application of physics towards solving problems of concern to humanity. Other parts of IUPAP actually do things like try to get standardized units. The C11 actually's main activity, as far as I can see, is supervision of the international conferences. But we also technically supervise the International Committee for Future Accelerators. And when called upon, we do studies. For example, there have been the reports on authorship and recognition, and the report on recognition in large collaborations, which were issued by, or largely done by C11. And one of the other things that we do is every 2 years at ICHEP, we award the Young Scientist Prize. So actually, I'd like to now announce the winners of the prize and congratulate them and give them their certificates. So first, I'm going to put both of them up. Oops. Oh, okay, so first is Claude Durr from IPP Durham, and he's being recognized. Come on up. He's being, while he's walking, he's being recognized for his outstanding contributions in theory. You can read the rest of the citation. So, here it is. So, they receive a monetary prize. Unfortunately, we don't have a huge check for them. They receive a citation. And a rather impressive medal. Which unfortunately you cannot wear. So, and he will be presenting his work right after this talk. So, thank you, and we'll hear more about it. So, next is, there are 2 winners, one in theory, one in experiment this year. The experimental winner is Kirsten Tackman from DAISY, who is being recognized for her work on Atlas on the discovery of the Higgs boson. And yes, once again, the certificate. Get in the light. Okay. You need me to come this way? Okay. There you go. Congratulations. And Dr. Tackman is also going to be presenting her results after this talk. So back to the bureaucracy. That's the good part of this job. There's the membership so that you can see this. We are going to be having a turnover. The membership of the committee turns over every 3 years. So some of these members are going to go off. In particular, Chairman Ihara is going to be leaving the committee, and we're going to be getting a new chair. So one of the things we do, the major thing we do is we sponsor the conferences. There's type A, which are very general, and then type B and C, which are more specialized. Our criteria in choosing to sponsor a conference, I thought it would be useful to show this in case anybody wants to bid on one of them so they know the questions that we're going to ask. We work for international balance. Generally there's a rotation, which seems to be violated more often than it's followed. An important criteria is accessibility and openness. You wanted to make it, our goals is to try to keep these conferences accessible in an increasingly difficult financial world for science. So we lean on the organizers on things like registration fee, trying to find less expensive accommodations, and it's also important that it actually be possible to get there. And we also urge potential organizers of conferences to work on diversity, which means that some of the budget for the conference needs to go in support for scientists for developing countries. It's important to work very hard so that people can actually attend and design the structure of the conference to encourage participation by young scientists and women. Other factors are experience in running similar meetings, the quality of venue, in particular having beautiful rooms like this, and strong local support. In general, if you want to run one of these meetings, if you don't have strong local support, including financial support, it's very hard to make it work financially. So I think this present meeting is a model for almost all of these criteria and has set a very high bar for future conferences. So I hope that anyone planning to do another conference has been taking notes. Okay, so just future conferences. The next Lepton major conference that we're going to be sponsoring is Lepton Photon, which is going to be in Ljubljana, Slovenia in August of 2015. Following that is ICHEP 2016, which will be hosted in Chicago. And in fact, I believe that this is the conference hotel. This is a very long lens view. You're actually looking over several miles there. But the conference hotel is supposed to be directly in downtown Chicago. At this meeting, we decided on 2 future conference locations. ICHEP 2018 will be held in Seoul, Korea. TIP 2017, which is the instrumentation conference, will be held in Beijing. And we've got 2 late proposals for Lepton Photon 2017, and we're going to be making the decision within a month. We're in contact with the organizers with a few more questions, but that hasn't been completely decided yet. So we're still looking for people for Lepton Photon 2019. Normally these things are decided 3 to 4 years in advance to allow the people on the ground to get the conference organized. So here's Seoul, here's Beijing, and in conclusion, I'd like to thank the organizers of ICHEP 2014 for the great science and hospitality, and I will see you in Slovenia and the US in 2015 and 2016. So thank you.
There were quite a few IUPAP reports in the past, so when specific topics were discussed, like this authorship. So are there any plans that IUPAP will continue with this tradition of discussing sort of critical topics and providing some feedback to the community, like global projects or whatever?
I'm actually not aware of any of that happening. I mean, what we've done more is these reports you did one of them, but they're more when a topic arises that has significant urgency. I will say they're more formal than that, things like authorship, which has actually been, the authorship panel has been very valuable because, at least in the United States, it's very useful to be able to use that report to explain to other fields the way in which high energy physics operates, because other fields have quite different rules, and without that report, we can actually get into trouble. But I think that future accelerators is more ICFA's job. We could do that. It's generally when a need arises.
Thank you.
We actually have questions to you. So one thing I have noticed is that our field is diversifying, in some way, changing, and that impacts, in particular, Lepton Photon Conference. So that I've noticed in the last about 10 years or so, the attendance has been going down, and somewhat of the atmosphere of Lepton Photon Conference has not been as as, good as what I thought in the past. Is the C11 has talked about this, and then is there any sort of remedies trying to improve that?
I think the major things that we've discussed is, first of all, Lepton, for those who don't know, Lepton Photon generally does not have parallel sessions. It has plenary sessions. It does tend to compete with the European Physical Society meeting, which causes some drop in attendance. But the thing that I think worked very well at this conference is that the poster session was very well attended and encouraged. There were over 200 posters at this conference. So the idea for Lepton Photon is to add, maybe not at this point, we're not talking about adding parallel sessions, but to have a much stronger poster program. And in principle, possibly have parallel sessions. But in Ljubljana, the idea is to have in fact, something similar to what Morion does, where you have the Young Scientist section, where there's at least one block of time that is devoted to shorter talks by younger people so that you can get a broader participation in the conference.
Okay, are there any other questions for Heidi? I don't see any. Okay, let's thank Heidi again.